Good morning, and thank you for joining us today at the Art Institute of Chicago. I'm Ed Udell, President and CEO of the Fabricators and Manufacturers Association, who, along with our partners, the American Welding Society, Chemical Coaters Association International, the Precision Metal Forming Association, and SME, who all work together to deliver the FABTECH show, North America's largest trade show, which features the latest equipment, technology, and manufacturing know-how for metal fabricating, forming, welding, and finishing. In just 2 short months from now, November 9th through the 12th, we're going to be right down the street at McCormick Place, and 40,000 manufacturing professionals will converge to view demonstrations from more than 1,500 suppliers, and in many cases they'll be featuring technology, automation, software, manufacturing strategies, and the latest metal manufacturing trends for the first time. FABTECH is more than technology, though. More than 100 educational sessions are being held, which include expert-led presentations, thought-provoking speakers, issue-focused panels, and hands-on demonstrations. FABTECH will cover each piece of the metal manufacturing puzzle, from job shop solutions, stamping, process management strategies, such as lean and additive manufacturing, to lasers and cutting, and forming and finishing. Attendees will gain new perspectives about every aspect of the manufacturing process in metal fabricating, forming, welding, and finishing. In today's unpredictable world, manufacturing and the ability to make products and produce products has never been more important to our country, our economy, and our future. New technologies, processes, and endless innovations make it an exciting time to be involved in the field. This morning, I could spend hours highlighting new advancements in manufacturing, but rather than bring this to a screeching halt, I won't do that. I would instead invite you to join us in November at FABTECH and see these advancements in action for yourself. And we'll use this time this morning to demonstrate one technology that is driving major change in manufacturing of all types. In recent headlines, 3D printing has been discussed as something that could reshape manufacturing in America. I was a big fan right now. The technology has been used to develop. The technology has been used to develop cost-efficient prosthetic limbs, among other amazing creations. More and more companies of all sizes are experimenting with and adopting 3D print technology in every facet of their processes. We are seeing an acceleration in the number of opportunities to utilize 3D printing, specifically in metal manufacturing, and at FABTECH we are going to showcase the technology. This morning we're extremely excited to partner with Exact Metrology, who is performing the scanning. They're from Met-L-Flo Inc. and the Art Institute of Chicago, who has graciously provided our subject to be scanned, the iconic South Guardian lion by Edward L. Kennys, which has stood for more than 100 years and has become a beloved symbol of the museum and of our great city. What better way to demonstrate the exciting future of manufacturing than through a 3D scan of something as special to Chicago, also home to FABTECH. Today you'll hear from Dean Solberg, Vice President of Exact Metrology, and Carl Decker, President of Met-L-Flo Inc., who will discuss 3D scanning and printing processes from start to finish. After Exact Metrology has completed the scan, Met-L-Flo Inc. will take the scan data and print hundreds of small-scale replicas of the lions for display at this year's FABTECH. While you watch the amazing technology next to me, I would like to introduce you to Dean Solberg, who will take you through the scanning portion of the phenomenal process. Dean?
Thank you, Ed. What a glorious day in Chicago to be out here, the greatest city in the world. Welcome. My name is Dean Solberg, and I'm Vice President of Exact Metrology based in Milwaukee and in Cincinnati. We're distributors of metrology equipment, plus our company performs many on-site services taking 2D, 3D, and now CT scans of products as diverse as metal castings, metal devices, car bumpers, etc. as part of our clients' quality assurance, product or package safety, and manufacturing validation processes at companies big and small across the country. We also scan fine art, sculpture, and entire buildings to check the structural integrity or even the authenticity of artwork. Our scanning can be done in highly accurate fashion down to the millionth of an inch range, whether the object is the head of a pin or a mile-long particle collider at Fermi Labs in Batavia, Illinois. Before I go further, a note of thanks to the Art Institute of Chicago and the folks at FABTECH and FMA for arranging this event as part of their Chicago promotion for the upcoming show. I hope you folks in the media will be covering that event, as it will feature some very exciting and new technologies on display, which will help build up American manufacturing, so vital to the future of our country. The emergence of such concepts as 3D laser scanning and now 3D printing of materials into finished products is truly changing the landscape of American manufacturing at light speed, if you will. So I hope you can join us at FABTECH. So you understand our process a little bit better today, let me give you some details on what we're doing using our Surphaser and ARTEC scanning technologies. My team is taking 3D scans of our friend here, whom I'm told his name is Attitude of Defiance. Now, a 3D scan is just what the name implies. It's a three-dimensional image of the target being scanned, which then can be translated through very sophisticated algorithms of a computer-aided design, also known as a CAD program, to enable the manufacture of a part. In this case, the images of the computer files we'll be generating today will be used by our friend Carl Decker and his team at Met-L-Flo to produce 300 pieces of a 3D printed lion for giveaway at FABTECH in November. Carl can tell you more about the Met-L-Flo process in a few minutes. So using our Surphaser and ARTEC scanning technologies, we're all basically shooting laser beams all along the lion sculpture, recording literally millions of data points and gradually building up a 3D image of the piece inside the computer. Our work is being displayed on this big video monitor so you can watch it as it happens. This extremely high-resolution image combined together into a math model, which is then translated into a manufacturing protocol known as a CAM program, which stands for Computer-Aided Manufacturing. This program tells the machine how to make the part, whether it's a conventional machine tool, cutting a metal in a subtractive mode, or similar to marble manufacturing, or the recently developed additive manufacturing or 3D printing, where materials are gradually deposited and fused together to make a finished object that looks just like the math model we're creating here today. It's pretty cool stuff. This technology has gone from being one to make prototypes, that is models used for presentations, to actually production method for short and medium runs in just a few years. Complementing this technology are 3D laser scanning and now CT scanning, which is the same kind of machine you've seen in the medical world, taking images of the human body, can now be used to produce images that show the surface or internal structure of almost any object. Today, the laser will literally look at every point on the surface of this lion and translate all those points into a computer image, with the final output being nearly an identical model of the object being scanned. Once completed, we'll provide the folks at Met-L-Flo with the files, and they'll take it from there. Because the dimensions are all in 3D, the product produced from the files can be almost any size. From one artist in Cincinnati, for example, we scan his models, then provide his foundry with the files, and they create larger than life-size metal castings. We recently helped on a project with Hall of Famer baseball great Johnny Bench by scanning him and supplying the data necessary to create the sculpture, which now sits outside the stadium in Cincinnati. I really hope you can make it to FABTECH, as there are some very exciting things happening in manufacturing today that my company, Exact Metrology, is proud to be part of that process. By the way, if you don't know the term metrology, it's just a fancy way for saying the science of precise measurement. You can learn all about that at our website, www.exactmetrology.com. And I'll be here all morning. If you've got any questions, please stop me and ask me personally. And with that, again, I thank the folks at FMA and the Art Institute, and I'd like to introduce you to Carl Decker, President of Met-L-Flo.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Dean again for the kind introductions. It's been a pleasure to work with such a great collection of partners on this, the Art Institute, FABTECH, SME, Exact Metrology, as well as Linear Mold. Taking an icon like this for the Lion, which has been here over 100 years, is just an awesome way to be able to express what these technologies can do and how to take them forward. Ed, I noticed you referenced 3D printing, and I know that that's the most common way that people usually refer to these technologies, but I gotta kind of state in industry, we kind of go with the additive manufacturing. Part of that primarily because 3D printing is one of 7 different technologies that are used. And we're going to be using 2 of these technologies to produce the Lions that are going to be on display at FABTECH. One of them is stereolithography or vat polymerization, where we're actually taking a laser and directing it into a vat of polymer to selectively cure where we want the part to be or where the Lion's going to be. And the other one, with the assistance of Kristen Ezeminger at Linear Mold and Engineering, is going to be helping us with providing the parts for direct metal, where they're actually taking a laser and putting that into a powder bed of metal and welding or melting the metal together. With those systems, we require an electronic representation of the model, which is primarily what Dean's going to be providing us from Exact Metrology. This can be done either from a scanning as we're doing today, or from a CAD design, which can be done from a lot of different computers, laptops, even shareware off of the web. Any of those can be used to drive these additive manufacturing technologies. Here's an illustration of one of the pieces that has actually been done. It was an artist representation. Basically illustrates something that you couldn't really manufacture conventionally. Another application is this, which is actually designed for testing the vacuum on a Formula One track to determine how much lift they're getting off the vehicle and be able to actively adjust the suspension. So those are just a couple of the opportunities where you can apply these additive manufacturing technologies. So as we start to change these, thank you. As we start to change these paradigms of how to design, we're no longer constrained by a lot of the typical methodologies that we've been taught for years. Now we're opening up different ways to be able to conceive new opportunities to be able to produce products that couldn't be produced before. And these are some of the exciting areas where we're seeing manufacturing take and advance what we're doing with the state of technology and the art of manufacturing. So with that, I look forward to seeing a bunch of these Lions running around McCormick Place in a couple of months. And again, my thanks to the Art Institute, FABTECH, SME, FMA, Exact Metrology, Linear Mold, and my people who are going to have to do this at Met-L-Flo. Thank you.
So I will wrap this up. As you can hear from these gentlemen, a lot of great stuff going on in manufacturing, stereolithography, 3D printing, additive manufacturing. Make sure I get that right. In November, FABTECH will be here 9th through the 12th down the street. 40,000 manufacturing professionals will be in town. Please come see us. Please learn about manufacturing, its value to the U.S. economy, to the Midwest, and see all the exciting technology and opportunities for people to build careers and get involved in manufacturing. In closing, I'd like to thank the Art Institute of Chicago, Exact Metrology, and Met-L-Flo Inc. for their participation this morning. Thank you, and have a great day.